I started working for the Staten Island Ferry in 1987. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, so I served in the Navy prior to beginning my career with the ferry. I'm a native Staten Islander. I was born in Elm Park, section of Staten Island, right by Port Richmond. I've lived in Port Richmond, Mariners Harbor, just around the waterfront most of my life. But I remember one time on board the Staten Island Ferry and looking at the deckhand do his work and said, "Wow, that would be a great job."
Oh,
Not
wow.
knowing that a few years later, I myself would become a deckhand on the Staten Island Ferry. I started on the ferry in 1987. Did 4 years on deck. As you see, as you ride the ferry, you see the deckhands are about. Studied for my license. All the officers on the ferry are licensed by the U.S. Coast Guard. And in 1991, I became a mate. That's the other deck officer that you usually see around on your journey on the Staten Island Ferry. He's with the deckhands most of the time. He opens up the gates, helps hook the boat up, and stuff like that. And I was only a mate for a short time, only 6 months. I got my endorsements for first class pilotage. Now, in order to become a pilot on the Staten Island Ferry, they require 7 pieces of pilotage. One primarily for the upper bay, the East River. There are 3 parts. There are 2 parts in the North River, we call the Hudson River, and also the Kilvan Cull. So there were 7 total pieces of pilotage. I got those endorsements rather quickly, and I became a pilot shortly. I think before the end of 1991, I was working pilot already. And by 1995, I had gotten my master's license from the Coast Guard, and I began my career as a captain on the Staten Island Ferry, which was a very exciting career. I had to take the initiative to go up in the pilot house and gain the captain's trust, where he would let you steer the boat and teach you how to dock the boat. And so I remember a few of the questions were, if you were the captain of the boat tonight, you would have no problem taking across New York Harbor. And I said, no, I wouldn't have any problem at all. He goes, well, suppose there was pea soup fog, would you have any trouble navigating with radar? I said, no problem at all. And they said, okay, Captain. They promoted me right there on the spot.
Wow.
And they said, look out the window, there's your boat.